everyone, it's David here from Beyond the Kingdoms, and I hope all of you are doing really well, staying safe at home, and keeping healthy. Now, like me, you are probably missing our beloved Walt Disney World during this bizarre time. But in an effort to keep the magic alive at home while the parks are closed, I'm launching a new series today that will continue every single Wednesday, exploring all the hidden details and movie references inside the parks. And there are so many overlooked Easter eggs and movie references that I thought it would be fun to explore them together, and you can go hunting for them yourself when the parks reopen. I've also done this to hopefully inspire you to watch some more overlooked movies on Disney Plus and some other favorite streaming platforms. I think we're all in need of some distraction while we're all locked up at home. And to kick off the series today, I'm going to share with you 18 hidden movie references inside Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. If you're a Star Wars fan, you may know some of these already, but not all of them. So let's not waste any more time and start exploring. Alright, first let's look at a little backstory about Black Spire Outpost. Imagineers decided to skip recreating one iconic place in the theme parks from the Star Wars universe that we've already seen in the films. Now, Batuu is a planet located in the Outer Rim, and it was once a popular stopping point before traveling to wild space. But the invention of hyperspace trade routes turned Batuu into an overlooked planet, with thousands of travelers bypassing it to other regions, thus making it a good place for smugglers to hide out from the Empire and the First Order. And at the center of Galaxy's Edge is Black Spire Outpost. Even though we never saw the planet in a major Star Wars film, there is a single reference to Black Spire Outpost in the film Solo, thanks to Lando's trusty sidekick L337.
Please don't start.
Oh, what? You'll have me wiped? You couldn't get from here to Black Spire without me. Now you're gonna make the Kessel run?
Now, Batuu was once covered with tall trees in a sprawling jungle. The ancient trees have since been petrified, leaving behind these towering rock spires. But there is one spire in particular that inspired the name Black Spire Outpost. To see it, head on over to Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, located right in between the old marketplace and the spaceport where the Falcon is parked. The tall black spire seen on the side of Doc's shop almost looks like onyx. Its distinct black color in comparison to the other spires is what drew settlers into this area of the planet. According to the story group at Lucasfilm, no one knows why this particular rock formation is so dark, and locals all have different theories. But the mysterious dark color is what inspired settlers to create this town and give it the name Black Spire Outpost. Now, for fans of the original trilogy and on the hunt for some hidden Easter eggs, a stop at Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities is a must. I always referred to it as Nerdvana. This store features an array of great merchandise that original trilogy fans will love. You can get anything from Yoda's Illuminator to Leia's iconic white dress. But just stepping foot in here to marvel in all the helmets, statues, and creatures is enough for any Star Wars fan. Those who love the hit TV show The Mandalorian will notice Mando's helmet high up on the wall next to his rifle. This was actually placed here by Imagineers long before the show debuted on Disney Plus. Now, since the story of Galaxy's Edge is firmly set between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, there is a possibility that Mando is probably long dead by now, but who knows how Doc got his hands on his helmet. Up above the cash register, you'll notice a collection of animal busts. Most of you will recognize a Tauntaun as those found on the planet Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back, and the Nexu, the same scary cat-like creature that scratched Senator Padme in Attack of the Clones. But one of my favorite creatures found in the store is the baby Sarlacc, which fans will recognize from Return of the Jedi, where Lando, Luke, and Han were almost eaten by this sand creature thanks to Jabba. But what's really fun about this baby version is that you can see it up close and get a cool look at what he looks like underneath the sand. Now, you won't just find Star Wars Easter eggs inside this store. In fact, a reference to a whole other movie franchise is tucked away in here. Allegedly, other bloggers have pointed out the Ark of the Covenant as seen in Raiders of the Lost Ark, hidden up in the rafters here, but I have personally yet to find it. But if you're wondering why the Ark from Indiana Jones would be hidden inside a land themed to Star Wars, go back to other films made by George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. The two friends have been known to reference each other's films in the past. In E.T., Elliot shows his new friend some of his action figures from Return of the Jedi. And who can forget E.T. spotting Yoda on Halloween? But did you know that Lucas made a reference to E.T. in Phantom Menace? Take a look at this scene in the Galactic Senate.
A vote of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum's leadership.
Now, aside from the dozens of artifacts and props in this store, don't forget to see the most obvious yet easy to overlook item at the entrance to the store. This impressive relief tells the story of how a group of Jedi warriors fought a battle against some sort of alien race. The story of this battle is not seen in any of the films, but those with a keen eye will see the exact same stone carving hung up on the walls of Palpatine's office in Episode 3, when he begins to lure Anakin to the dark side.
I know you would. I can feel your anger.
And for one more reference to the prequel trilogy, head back outside. Just next to the entrance of the shop, you'll notice this large Jedi statue. This figure once stood inside the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. How Doc got this large statue is unknown, but you can see a reference to it also in Revenge of the Sith. You'll notice it for a brief moment in the background as Yoda and Obi-Wan discover how Anakin killed younglings inside the temple. Now, in the adjacent marketplace, you'll find another truckload of hidden details and interesting Easter eggs. A big fan favorite can be found right at the entrance to the marketplace, next to the restrooms. The next time you refill your water bottle here, keep your eyes open for this Dianoga. This slimy-looking trash monster is most known for that creepy large eyeball. And my OG Star Wars fans will remember this iconic scene from the first film, A New Hope. And speaking of trash, those who are fluent in Arabic should know the trash cans around Galaxy's Edge. At the top of each metal bin, use your handy translator on the datapad to translate this line of text. It reads trash to sector 3263827. Sound familiar?
We're all right. You did great. hey, open the pressure maintenance hatch on unit number. Where are we? 3263827.
That's a fun one. Okay, that's enough trash talk. Let's head further into the market. One of my favorite stops for some hidden details is inside the Todarian Toy Maker. This is where you can get some really cute handcrafted toys for the little ones, like this wooden Stormtrooper, very similar to the one Jyn Erso had in Rogue One. But look higher up inside the small market stand and you'll see this display of toys retelling the story of how the Empire chased down the Millennium Falcon into an asteroid field. And just behind that display of the Falcon, take a look at Jabba's sail barge. This little tableau reminds us of how Luke and his friends killed off Jabba and his gang in Return of the Jedi. You'll see some of the members of Jabba's band, Bib Fortuna, and of course Boba Fett. And speaking of creatures, head a little further down the market to find this shop sign. This is located at Jewels of Bith. If you're wondering why this interesting silhouette looks kind of familiar, rewatch the famous Cantina scene in A New Hope. These alien creatures are called Biths, hence the name of the store, and you'll notice that the band members have the same large cone-shaped heads as depicted in the sign. Now, as we've already seen, Galaxy's Edge not only pays homage to the original trilogy, but to the prequels as well. But the details even stretch over into the animated TV shows, believe it or not. Inside Black Spire Market, younger guests who want to get their hands on some cuddly yet strange-looking aliens should stop at the Creature Stall. This is where you can get all sorts of animals, like a cute porg or a cuddly bantha. But fans of Star Wars Rebels might want to adopt their own Loth cat. One of these oversized space cats is on display in his own cage right in the middle of the store. Looks like he's taking a nice cuddly nap. For those unfamiliar, a Loth cat first made appearance in Season 1, Episode 5 of Star Wars Rebels, called Rise of the Old Masters. The cat was seen very briefly just after the droid Chopper threw a milk carton or something off of the Ghost. And we saw it again in Episode 8, when Ezra tries to connect with an untamed Loth cat. Now, for those of you who actually enjoyed The Phantom Menace, there are several Episode 1 references over at Ronto Roasters. The giant engine roasting on the fat pieces of Nuna is of course pulled off of a pod racer. This giant piece of machinery is definitely not pulled off of Anakin's pod racer, but the blue coloring on the outside certainly is reminiscent to Anakin's. And a reminder of the only good scene in this prequel film. Now, aside from the incredible detail at Ronto Roasters, also make sure you check out the little cove off to the side. I guess it's a pantry for the chefs at the quick service restaurant. Inside here, you'll find some of the ingredients used to make a delicious Ronto wrap, and hanging up on the walls are some fresh gorgs, or chubas. These slimy amphibians are a delicacy, and as you may recall, Jar Jar is a big fan of these creatures. And if you want one more reference to the prequel trilogy, head back over to Toydarian Toymaker, because like the Jewels of Bith shop, this store has an exterior sign that also resembles an alien creature. This short and stubby winged guy resembles Watto, the same Toydarian that was Anakin's slave owner in The Phantom Menace. But the final hidden detail in the marketplace I want to point out doesn't reference a particular film in the Star Wars universe. In fact, it pays homage to a previous attraction that once stood in this same location before Galaxy's Edge was created. The next time you visit, take a look at these 3 speeders next to that toy shop. Use your translator on the datapad to decipher these markings on the central green speeder, and you'll notice that these 3 letters translate to LMA. What does this mean? Well, right before this area of Hollywood Studios closed to begin construction, the stunt show Lights Motor Action was located here. LMA obviously refers to the title of the show, a tribute to a lost but not forgotten piece of Hollywood Studios history. Now for our final piece of this Hidden Details tour, we're heading to the spaceport area of Galaxy's Edge. Now we will get to the Falcon in a minute, but on a previous trip when I began lining up for Oga's Cantina, I noticed these large cages on the side wall across the entrance to the bar. For those who are fans of helmets and gear worn by all the famous pilots in the Star Wars universe, you'll want to check this one out. Nearly every space helmet used in the franchise can be seen here. You can see the same hat and goggles that Han and Luke wore on Hoth, some A-Wing helmets, and my favorite, some Scout Troop helmets. My most cherished memory of first exploring the Star Wars films was when I saw Luke and Leia chase Scout Troopers on Endor. I think it was the first time I watched a Star Wars movie. So the next time you're in the area by Oga's Cantina, make sure to check these out. But the Cantina is another must-stop for Hidden Details. If you saw my Foodie Friday video from Galaxy's Edge, you know that almost all of the drinks in here are references to creatures and other elements of the universe. My favorites are the Bloody Rancor, which was the creature seen in the pits of Jabba's palace, and the Yub Nub. The name of this drink refers to the original song played at the end of Return of the Jedi, at the fall of the Empire. That is before the special edition version replaced it with another song. Yub Nub translates to Ewok celebration. The drink itself is a tropical Mai Tai of sorts, and the souvenir cup that comes with it looks like a carved tiki glass that a furry little Ewok would have carved up. But another creature that I love included here is the Wart. He's high up in the bar in his own little glass case. This frog-like creature made its first appearance in Return of the Jedi, just outside Jabba's palace. The main reason this Wart is found inside the cantina is because these creatures lay small eggs that are used in Jabba juice. So if you want to know what that tastes like, order the non-alcoholic drink the next time you visit. I'll tell you a little secret, it's what those little boba pearls at the bottom of the drink are. And of course, I have to mention DJ Rex. This is definitely not so secret, and all of the Star Wars fans should know this one, but if you don't, the droid spinning tunes at the spacebar was originally seen in the first version of Star Tours. He served as the pilot in the original version of the attraction that debuted in Disneyland in 1987 and then at Hollywood Studios in 1989. He is voiced by actor Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, and you can actually still see Rex in the queue area of the new Star Tours attraction over in Echo Lake. After you've passed the main hangar room at the start of the queue, you'll enter a droid room. Look to your left underneath the ramps and you'll see him boxed up in a corner. And for our final stop on today's tour, we arrive at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. The Falcon is parked just outside Hondo Ohnaka's shop, and she is a beauty to see up close and in person. In the indoor queue area of this attraction, you'll see several props lying around, like a set of Sabacc playing cards, which is a popular game played by smugglers. Even though the game has been played for years now, we've never officially seen it in action in one of the films, until the spin-off Solo. It's especially appropriate here, given that this is how Han won the Falcon from Lando. Now, for those of you who are wondering who Hondo is, you'll have to refer to the Clone Wars TV show. He's a space pirate who first appeared in Season 1, Episode 11, when he sought out a reward for having captured Dooku. He later appeared on the Star Wars Rebels TV show as well, and here at the attraction he offers to help Chewie make some repairs on the ship after he uses it to run some side missions. That's where you come in. After the pre-show and in the main hold of the Falcon, you'll definitely want to snap a picture at the holographic game table. But also check out what's hiding in the shelf just up above that. Here, you'll see Luke's training helmet and a Marksman H combat remote to reference when he first began his training as a Jedi with Obi-Wan in Episode 4. This is a prop that would later be referenced in the relaunch of the franchise with The Force Awakens. Now, on the ride itself, keep your eyes peeled at the very start of the experience, after you've strapped into the cockpit of the Falcon. As you depart this spaceport on Batuu, those with a keen eye may spot this Starspeeder 1000, a reference to the current Star Tours attraction. And from there, it's up to you and your team to score big on Smuggler's Run. Now that just about does it for our tour of hidden details around Galaxy's Edge. But there is one more that I want to point out before I go. The next time you visit the land, head on over to the steps that lead up to Ronto Roasters, and look up at the spaceship above Docking Bay 7. You may need a zoom lens on your camera to really see this, but look at the cargo containers on the ship. You'll notice one with the number 77 on the side, and another with 83. And inside the entrance area of Docking Bay 7, you'll see the third that's being lowered into the building. This cargo container has the number 80 on the side. My hardcore fans will realize that these three sets of numbers refer to the release dates of the first three films: A New Hope in 1977, Empire Strikes Back in 1980, and Return of the Jedi in 1983. Of all the hidden Easter eggs and references to the films, this is by far my favorite. So there you have it, friends, 18 hidden details and Easter eggs inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And believe me, there are plenty more dotted around this incredible land. If you've spotted some hidden references yourself, share it with us in the comment section below, or tag Beyond the Kingdoms in a picture on social media. And the next time you visit, keep your eyes peeled for all of these fun and exciting little details. Stay tuned next week as I continue this fun new series with a look at some hidden details and movie references around the Magic Kingdom. It will take you on a great trip down memory lane and provide some inspiration for more films to watch on your favorite streaming platform. But that will definitely have to do it for today. Like always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.